We're at Jake's Passive House and we're talking roofs, and specifically roof style. Is a flat roof really flat? Well, let's find out. Today we're with Craig Novak, the project manager of Jake's Passive House. And Craig, we're standing on what looks like a deck, but this is actually the roof of the house. Tell me a little bit more about, first of all, what a flat roof really means, and then why we have this little tiny wall around the perimeter.
So flat roofs aren't really flat. There's always going to be some component for drainage. These roofs will have layers of foam and then tapered foam to drive the water to exterior scuppers, which are overflow devices, to then get into downspouts and carried off the property.
So we don't have, so the roof, while it's flat right now, we're actually building it up with tapered foam. So sloped foam specifically designed to direct the water into scuppers, so ways to get the water off of the roof.
Yeah, moving the water off the roof through a medium on top of our drain membrane. We'll have a gravel medium that helps with the sunlight and the energy uptake.
Okay.
It'll be a reflective material, so very light roofing. And then on the adjacent to us, we'll have a gable roof. So we're doing a couple styles of roofs on this project.
Okay. So why is it so important for us to have a slope on this roof? What happens if it was just flat?
You'd have water leaks. Even with an impermeable barrier, it's very difficult to get it to really stay dry.
Okay.
If you have a green roof, a lot of the green roofs that are for growing, they're built on a flat medium, but they also have the ability to have the uptake from the plants. So you don't ever have standing water. It always vaporizes and moves into the plant material. Whereas if it's just a roof, you have to drive it off in one way or another.
So because a flat roof really isn't flat, right? There's always going to be a low spot and a high spot. And if it's a low spot, we may end up collecting more and more water, and then it could deflect the roof and collect more water. And I think we've seen some of these commercial buildings where suddenly a flat roof building will just give way. And it wasn't because it was flat roofed, it was because there was no slope to the roof and it just collected more water until it surpassed the structural integrity of the roof.
Yep.
Okay, and then what are these little walls around here?
These are called parapets. They'll be packed with a rigid insulation so we don't have to ventilate them.
Okay.
Then we'll bring an air barrier up and around and all the way down the exterior wall because it's a passive house. So this is our initial air barrier layer.
Okay.
Train.
And we're gonna have a train come by, so we're gonna stop for a second.
It's so much louder when we're out here in the wide open air.
So what's the function of the parapet? Is it to make it so you can't see the sloped roof, or is it something else?
It's a combination. Yeah, you don't want to be able to see the roof surface unless you're on the roof.
Okay.
Our adjacent roof is designed to have a roof deck with a roof garden.
Okay.
So you'll be able to look across, but you don't want to see something bright and reflective. And
got it.
And it allows you to create the slopes hidden behind this.
Got it. So it's really more of a visual thing to make it seem like the wall is actually flat, or the top of the wall is actually flat, when in actuality there's, there could be, depending on the size of the roof, there could be 12 or 14 inches of foam up here.
Oh, absolutely. The buildup, in order to get from the high spot to the low spot on what has to be the drainage plane, you might have a buildup of something of that extent.
Okay. And then the gable walls or the gable roofs, those naturally have a slope that's built into them, so they're going to shed water fairly quickly. So the idea is to get the water off the membrane as quickly as possible.
Yes. And so our slope roof will be actually a solar system on the gable roof here, and then the gable roof that's over our great room.
Okay, and that's just to to provide power for the entire house. And those are going to be solar shingles, which we'll talk about in future videos.
Yes.
Okay. If you're interested in learning more about flat roofs or about Jake's Passive House, hit subscribe as we show you how to build a better way. Today we're at Jake's Passive House and we're talking roofs. Specifically, is a flat roof flat? Let's figure it out. Let's find out. Every time I have the worst possible luck here. I don't know. Craig makes me nervous or something.